This is the last chapter in part two. In part two of this book, we've been looking at personal habits. And where did we start with personal habits? We started with, or individual habits rather, we started with getting things done. That is, you want to be the kind of person who gets things done in 24-hour periods effectively. And one of the things we said in that chapter is if it takes you less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. Like, do it right away. If it's important and urgent, but it's going to take you more than 2 minutes, then you should schedule a time for it. Yeah. And let's go now to chapter 10, which is about health. This part, it says here by Alex McCall. Mochary is simply saying this part is written by somebody else, not by himself. So McCall says building a company will take a physical and mental toll. In an interview with Diary of the CEO, in Diary of a CEO, the interviewing Mr. Beast told Stephen Butler that if his mental health were a concern to him, that he wouldn't be as successful as he is today. And it's a matter of priorities. I think sometimes it's sad that great people fall sick, but the truth is that some jobs, even jobs that that are in your zone of genius that you love doing, will have a mental toll. Every activity in the world eventually has a mental toll on someone, or if it doesn't take a mental toll on you, it takes you away from paying attention to your health. For example, you might love playing football, but then I've heard sports people whom the doctor said you shouldn't be playing sports again, and then they continued playing sports, and they eventually overcame the health crisis that the medical professionals told them. That's not to say you shouldn't care about your physical or mental health. I'm by no means saying that. Um, Ideally, we should live out our lives fulfilled and purposeful. But then sad things happen. People get sick. But I hope that only things this chapter talks about is that you should pay attention to your health. And I hope we can both take that away from this chapter. It says all the work you put towards your company will be for naught. That is nothing if it costs you your health. It is incredibly important that you focus on both your physical and mental health and take active measures to improve them. Take active measures to improve your health. Remember, this is the mindset of a successful CEO. You want to pay attention to your health as well as you pay attention to getting things done, being in your zone of genius, and so on and so forth. Ideally, take some form of exercise every day, but at least ensure that you're working out multiple days a week. Ensure that you're working out multiple days a week. Figure out what exercise works for you, be that lifting, running, or boxing. If you find yourself motivation sleeping, get a buddy to train with. Sign up for group activities, e.g. Barry's Boot Camp. This must be in the US. Or get a trainer. If you can't afford a trainer, get the company to pay for it. Your investors won't mind if you're a CEO, you're a great founder, people are investing in you. I'm sure they will not mind that you're taking time off every day or every week to pay attention to your health. They wouldn't mind. Your investors won't mind. Your physical health is paramount. It says that again. Company building takes an emotional toll too. Even as an executive assistant, I've seen some positions advertised where they say they give you sick leave, and that's really good because as an executive assistant, you're taking the load off someone who is a very important person. And imagine working for let me use that 2K per hour example again. Let's say maybe you are paid between $5 to $15 per hour, and you're working for someone who is paid 2K dollar per hour. So you're doing, this person must be worth that amount of money they get paid, but then you are effectively helping that person out. So your mental health is also important to that person and to yourself, because if you if you are paid and I think if you're working for somebody who is paid um even more than 2K dollar per hour, right? And you are paid as low as $5 per hour, it doesn't diminish your worth. Actually, it says that you're important. Imagine the personal assistant or the executive assistant to someone like Elon Musk. They would be earning a tiny fraction of what Elon Musk's per hour rate is, but effectively they are very important because they must be very good at this operation and personal management space that I'm in, that we're in. If you're also watching with that background, right? So, oh, I said right. They must be very important too. They must be very good. So if your CEO is paying attention to their health, you too should be paying attention to your health. So company building takes an emotional toll. It is important that you have someone to speak to, listen to you, and help feelings flow through you. The alternative is bottling up anger, sadness, fear until you and your company self destruct. Build a CEO support group comprised of your peers. Learn to be vulnerable in front of the company and practice conscious leadership. We're going to get to that in chapter 15. Get a therapist. Even if you think you don't need one, you will invariably find it useful. Meditation is also a tool, or is also, oh, okay. So this is another tip in the book. Meditation is also a tool. That's what it says, but it's also a tool to help focus and quiet the mind. A good company perk is to buy a team account for a meditation app like Calm, that is calm.com or headspace.com, and then set aside a room in your office for meditating. Stick an event in your calendar every day to remind you to meditate, and make it public to the company to lead an example. One of the tips someone told me some years ago is that if you find that people like to take your time and get you to do things that drowns you, that makes you stressed, put it in your calendar, the company calendar, and put the meeting. Even though you're not going to have a meeting, like just put it a meeting so that somebody doesn't book that time. So put it in your calendar, meditation. That's what it says. And that brings us to the end of chapter 10. It hasn't taken us 10 minutes to look at this chapter, but I don't think we need to dwell on it. The point is, do exercise every day. I need to change my desk into an adjustable desk, adjustable height desk, but I haven't done that yet. So I spend a lot of time sitting down and working, and sitting down isn't a very good deal. Even for people who stand and carry hefty things, still not a good deal. That's why I said when we started this chapter that there's no work in this world, even the one where you just sit down, or even the one where you sleep. Sleeping too much is not even good. If someone's paying you to sleep, that's also not very healthy. So there's no job that is perfectly healthy. You have to work around it, and that's one of the things I'm also paying attention to, and I hope that you also do. Thanks for watching chapter 10, and thanks for being with me through part 1, and now we just finished part 2. In the next video, we're going to start part 3. Part 3, we're going to be looking at group habits. Till then, take care. God bless.